Hello, my dear friends. This is Raj Kapoor, your host today in Nonprofit Edge. And today, I'm going to bring to you the leadership principles. Now, before I get into anything, I just want to make sure that you have downloaded the free ebook, 5 Pillars for Nonprofit Success. If not, you have a link within the group where you can download it. If you're still unable to, you can email me, raj@rajkapoor.com or support@optionsahead.com. This book took me quite some time to create. It's not a long book, it's a 34-page book. But what it does have, it distills the 30 years of experience that I've had with nonprofit organizations, working with the nonprofit organization as a chief financial officer, as an acting CEO, and consulting with nonprofits, being an executive coach to the CEOs, to CFOs within nonprofit. So I do understand the nonprofit arena very, very well with all these years that I have put into it. And I have gone through so many circumstances with nonprofits where they were on the verge of failing, and I was able to successfully pull them along with really great people who I knew, great teams I knew, great CEOs I knew, but who had that passion in their heart to make sure that it worked. And I'm sure you have that too. That is why you're here. That is why you are running a nonprofit or you're working in a nonprofit organization. So that is the reason I really want to bring you through this group, because I believe there is no other platform out there which has many resources which would really help people in the nonprofit circles. I had a very hard time finding something really good. And so the first aspect that I want to speak about is strong leadership. One of the things which I would like to tell you before I get into that I am a certified coach with the John Maxwell team, and I am at the executive director level. I have learned directly from Dr. John Maxwell. If you haven't heard of Dr. John Maxwell, definitely Google him and you will find that he is the guru for leadership. He is that good. And a lot of things that I learned from him, I brought into nonprofits, and that really changed the way that the nonprofits worked. So today what we are going to do, we are going to go over the leadership aspect. Why leadership first? Why? And the most important thing with the leadership is that for any nonprofit to be successful, just to tell you, it needs all the 5 pillars that I have stated in the ebook. But leadership is number 1. You know why? Because without good leadership, everything falls apart. Leadership can help an organization set and achieve the goals that are needed. Now, I have actually seen this happen, that where the leadership was weak, organizations did not develop or go beyond a certain level, or many of them just dwindled away. Organizations which were struggling got a great leader and they were able to transform. Leadership, in a sense, is the most important aspect without which any organizations, I would say, but specifically nonprofits, because that's what we are talking about, will have a very hard time running efficiently. Now we are going to talk about the leadership within the organization, and later on we will also talk about the leadership of the board. All the aspects of leadership are important here. Now what we will go over first is, many times people confuse what is the difference between management and leadership. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Then I'm going to talk about the leadership led. What's a leadership led? If you haven't heard about it, it'll be a great thing to understand and learn. Then, how can you take leadership and make it into a daily agenda and how it works? Another thing about leadership which I have dealt with personally was, what is the difference between an event and a process, and how you can create things which become processes instead of being an event. Next is, what about respect? As a leader, you need to have respect. What do you do to gain respect? So we are going to go over a few things on that. Then comes the connectivity. How can you connect with people to be a very effective leader? And finally, investing in yourself. Every coach has a coach. Every great player has a coach. So do you need a coach? Well, books could be your good coach. So we will talk about all those things as we go through today's session. So what is leadership? Leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. Management and leadership are two different things. One of the things which I would like to definitely tell you is that the leadership cannot be awarded, appointed, or assigned. It comes only from influence. That means that it has to be earned. One of the things that comes across is the management myth. Management says that it is a part of leadership. Answer is no. Leadership is exactly about influencing the people to follow you, while management focuses on maintaining systems and processes. Both the things are essential for a good running and working of a not-profit organization, but leadership is really a must. What happens is managers can actually maintain direction of an organization, but they cannot change it because that needs influence, and that is the job of a leader. A leader can actually change the way an organization works, and sometimes that change is needed, and sometimes it is now, sometimes it could be in future, but that cannot be done without an influence. Many times people ask that people in my organization, how can I have them follow my vision? The answer that I heard from John Maxwell is really a great one. If the people trust you and they are ready to follow you, then they will follow your vision. That's how simple it is. So, with the management, one thing comes in is that there are many leaders who become managers. As a leader, you need to understand the difference, which I just told you. One of the big myths that comes in with the leadership is that people who get a position, that means they get appointed. By meaning to say is they just get appointed as a leader, start thinking now that they have the title, there's nothing else they need to do. And that is one of the biggest myths, because that doesn't give you that influence where people start following you. You cannot forcefully have people follow you. It can happen for a little while where you can exert that influence saying who I am and what I can do, but it is not going to last long. So become a great leader. That is how important it is. Now, it starts with what? It starts with the leadership lid. What is a leadership lid? Leadership lid states that if from 1 to 10, let's say your level of leadership from 1 to 10 is at maybe 6, the organization cannot grow above the level 5. If you are 8, it will go and stop at 7. It has never been seen that an organization can go above the lid that the leader has. I have actually seen that happen. In some of the organizations that I was there, they had grown to a substantial level, but they stagnated there. They did not go up from there. When they brought in a new leader whose lid was higher, the organization just grew to a different level. Contrary to that, I have also seen in some organizations where they got infusion of funding and the budget became big and they were right celebrating that they had gone up to the level. But when I went in and I saw that the lid of the leader was quite low, I knew for sure that if they will not have the right people in the team to take it up, it's going to bring it down. And you know what? They didn't listen much, and that happened. The organization went from a pretty good budget, I'm not going to disclose, but it dropped quite a bit as soon as those grants ended. So you have to be very careful with that lid that you have. Now, lid doesn't have to be with the top leader only, but even if you are in a department and you are a program director, you're still leading. You're still leading. So you take it from that angle and try to increase your lid. How do you increase your lid? Well, by investing in yourself, which is something which we are going to talk about as we go through today's chapter on leadership. Now, one of the things which makes success for our leaders is that leadership is like investing. It compounds. The more you learn about it, the more you understand it, the more experience you have, it compounds. I personally have had the experience of that. And one of the successes that I understood came through the daily agenda. Because sometimes what we do is that we invest in ourselves and then we learn something, we want to implement it, we try it, and something else comes across in our life and it pushes it aside. And then we go back after a few months and said, oh my God, I did that, but where am I right now? What you need to do is whatever you learn, try to create it as a daily agenda, because that is where the secret of your success is. It lies in your daily agenda. All the skills can be learned. All the skills can be improved upon. See, all the leaders are learners. They develop themselves. And that is where the next thing comes in, which is an event and a process. What's the difference between an event and a process? An event, and I'm going through the book from Dr. John Maxwell, where I'm looking at few things, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, which is sort of the book that I go to anytime I have to look for leadership. And Dr. Maxwell states that an event encourages decisions, a process encourages development. Event motivates people, a process matures people. An event is a calendar issue, a process is a culture issue. An event challenges people, a process changes people. An event is easy and a process is difficult. Now, give you an example from this. In one of the organizations that I was working, we had an annual event every single year. And in that annual event, we used to have all the staff go off-site, and there were different events that were happening, different classes that were happening. People were giving their ideas, and everybody was gung-ho. The ideas came in. Next year, it happened again. Most of the ideas were being repeated. And I had a talk with the president and CEO, and she said, I do not understand, Raj, that most of the ideas that are coming, I have seen them before. And the answer to that was, because it is an event. At an event, you pump up people. You speak. You tell them what is going on, how much of a difference they are making, and they get all pumped up. They give you ideas. You write down all the ideas, you come back, and soon enough, those are forgotten. But instead, I said, if you make it a process, that means you take those ideas and you start implementing them within their circles for the people who have given them and within the different departments, it's going to make a difference. That became a process. The curve became so beautiful because it was an upward curve, not an event. Happens, goes down. Next year happens, goes down. A process took us up, 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 and up. And you could see the huge difference in every single person. That's how powerful this is. Now, one of the big things I noticed was that many times when the leader is not strong, they're not able to command respect from the staff. And that is a deterrent, because then things don't work out. They just keep on moving. Because most of the non-profits, when they are able to get grants, they're able to get money, they can keep on going, pushing, but actually not growing to that level that they need to. That can only happen if the leader is great and the leader is able to demand respect. So here are a few qualities to help a leader to gain the respect. First is the leadership ability. Do you have a natural ability to lead, or is it a learned ability? Either way, do you have followers? Do you have respect for others? If you have respect for others, then the others are going to respect you too. Do you have the courage? What is your success record? That makes a big difference. What about loyalty? Do you have people who are loyal to you? And value added to others. Are you able to add value to others? The best thing is if you can take and evaluate yourself from 1, which is low, to 10 at the highest in all of these categories, and see where you stand. That will give you an idea where you want to go and invest in yourself, which is the last thing we are going to talk about. But again, leadership ability, respect for others, courage, success record, loyalty, and value added to others. If you're able to get these things in order and work on the ones that you might be weak in, then you definitely will be able to garner the respect that is needed. But most important aspect I would still tell you is value adding to others is really, really important. Because when leaders are respected and ask for commitment, that's when the people step up and they sign up. That's the time they're ready to take the risk. They are ready to put in long hours, do whatever is necessary for the job to be done. Let me tell you, when I was working as a chief financial officer, I used to work long hours because it was needed at that time to take the organization from where it was to where it needed to be, because it was doing such wonderful work. But one of the things happened, I never asked any of my staff people to ever stay late. And do you know what? Seeing what I used to do and the respect that I was able to garner from them, they used to work till the work was finished. Never asked them ever to stay over, but they did it themselves. And you know how? That's the next step. That is about connection. Are you able to connect and communicate with people? That is one of the most essential aspects of you as a leader. As I said, leadership is at different levels. You just don't have to understand that you are a leader only if you're leading an organization. Even if you're working in an organization at a level of a director, or even if you have few people reporting to you, that also becomes a part of leadership. Many times people don't understand about leadership. It's not just the organization. You're leading at home. You're leading at your worship place. You could be leading at different communities you belong to, different groups you belong to. So leadership, from my perspective, is of utmost importance. And this is where one thing comes in, is communication. To be an effective leader, you need to connect with people. You have to make sure that you are able to touch their hearts before they are able to do the work and become one with you. What I would state here is really important. See, people don't care much how much you know, what you have done, until they know how much you care about them. That is how important it is. A very great example that comes in my head right now is in one of the organizations I was working in. It was in Long Island, New York. And over there, our CEO was really great communicator, a great leader, my mentor. He mentored me. And he would do most of the work that is needed. Like if something is on the floor and he has to pick it up, he will do that. He will help the people. He will go out and talk to the people. He was one with them. They loved him. Then as the company started growing, he hired an executive director. This guy who came in with a lot of credentials. Came in because he was a really high-end guy. That's what we were told at some other place. He came in a 3-piece suit, and our CEO was in a jacket and a pants, generally not even a tie. He was in a 3-piece suit with a tie. He had a mirror in his office, and he would be looking down to you like, Who are you, sort of? And that just didn't fit right with the culture of the organization. I still remember very distinctly, as I'm speaking right now, is that we had he was on the intercom asking for the maintenance people to come in because he had seen somebody throw some paper outside the building, and he wanted them to go out and pick them up and throw them in the garbage. And the first thing that started remembering was, but if it was our CEO, he would have actually picked up and thrown it without asking. Long story short, at one juncture when the CEO, within a few months, went on vacation, one of the days we had to call him because the new executive director had fired 14 people in one day because he couldn't get along with them. So you do understand why communication becomes really important, specifically in the circle of nonprofit. First thing you need to understand is, can you connect with yourself? Are you confident about yourself? If not, then that is where you need to delve into and understand how to connect with yourself. Know who you're talking to, who your audience is. The message that you're giving, are you living that message or are you just stating that message? This is the communication. You need to go where those people are. They will not come to you. It's that important. You need to focus on them, not on yourself. These are few of the things that I will tell you. But whenever there is an adversity coming in, people look at the leader, and that is where you need to offer them direction and hope. And so, before closing, the last thing that I want to talk about is investing in yourself. How do you invest in yourself? So over here, what I do is, if you see behind me, I have so many books. And there are books on the other side, there are books in my garage, there are books in other rooms, because I love going and reading books, listening to audios, watching videos, that I can gain more insight and knowledge by investing in myself. At one time I used to say that my car doesn't run without fuel and my CD in the car where I can learn something, which means that I always wanted to make learning as number one priority. And that is the downtime when I'm in my car. I made my car my library. I used to hear whenever I'm on the road something which can invigorate me, which can add value to me, where I can add value to people. So I learned quite a bit. And I'll give you one short story and then I will end for today. And the story is that in 2014, now I had always had the yearning and learning, where I love reading on different subjects, learning about different aspects, not only of life, but of management, of leadership, and nonprofits, and all different areas, finance, not only just nonprofit finance, but personal finance, how to help people with personal finance. All those will be coming as we go through different weeks, and I'll be bringing those things to you. But being a CFO, working with 20-25 budgets and millions of dollars, it was not easy to do something every single day. In 2014, I said, every single day I'm going to either read something for 30 minutes or more, listen to something, or watch a video which is going to help me. Now, how do I make it that I'm going to do it? So I declared it on the Facebook to my friends and just emailed my friends that this is what I'm planning to do. Hold me accountable. So accountability comes in. And many times when I'm coming back from work and I'm tired, I know that people are going to hold me accountable. Even if they don't say anything, I know I'm accountable because I have made it public. That's one. Number two, I said that I'm going to blog or write something on anything which really I feel is that can help others. So I created a website called Experiments with Success. And I started blogging anything which I felt was good that I learned. But it forced me. It became a habit. It became a daily practice. By the end of the year, I had read, heard, or watched a video every single day. Number one. Number two, people started following me because of what I was writing. I must have blogged over 100 times, I assume. But that started changing my life because now I had invested in myself. I started to find people who actually came into my life and they started to add value to me. That is the year when I joined the John Maxwell team. How did I join? They called me. They said they are looking for professionals who are known in their fields, and if I would like to join their team, which I did, and became a certified leadership coach with the John Maxwell team. Many other things came in. I started new businesses. It just was a different experience. And from that time, I haven't looked back. I have just kept on going because I've kept on investing in myself. I've had some really great coaches that I invested in when I needed to. But when I didn't have the money to do it, books were my best coaches. Nothing beats that. This group that you have joined, Nonprofit Edge, this is for you here because this is where you're going to add so much value to yourself. What I'm bringing to you, what I'm having other people bring to you. So you keep tuned in because there's a lot coming, my dear friends. And if you have something to share, message me, email me, let me know. I can interview you. I can have you talk about something which you might have done because your stories matter. People understand from stories. Specifically in the nonprofit arena, it's really, really imperative that people get to know what your story is, how you have helped people, and how they can help people. So that's all for today. I hope I added value to you because next time I'm going to bring you the second pillar when I'm in the teaching aspect, and that is financial stability. One of my favorite and some great stories to go with that as to how I literally was able to turn around companies, build teams, and go forward with that. So that's all for today. Thanks, friends. And definitely send me your comments on this. Anything that you liked, anything you did not like, anything you have questions about. But I'm here to serve you. So take care. Bye now.